is Shylo Bijou, and you are listening to Grit and Grace. Hello. This is Shylo Bijou, and you are watching another episode of Grit and Grace. Let's get started. Hey, everyone. I wanted to do a special, unfiltered, raw, just fresh out of the shower show with you all, but also it is the fourth quarter. And we've had an incredible year. We're coming up on the end of this year, our first year as a show. And I wanted to kind of do some recaps from where we got started to where we are now, what's shifted, what's going on, what's changed, because so much has changed. It's been 10 months, I believe, 10 months of doing the show. And I thought, what a great recap we should do on the beginning of this, the inception of this show, all the way through what's been going on and how the challenges and the tragedies and all the things that we've gone through together and what it's done for me and how it can help you and hopefully has helped you. So I want to say thank you to my viewers, my listeners, everybody who's hopped on here. It's only getting better. We're going to be creating some really incredible content. We're going to be adding some sponsors. Yes, sponsors to the show. You're going to be seeing some great advertisements. We're going to be pulling some incredible people in here, but also more incredible guests and just conversations, right? We've had some insane conversations. There's been a few like jaw droppers in here, and we're going to just keep doing that more and more. But I just am so excited and grateful. And this is all about gratitude. So yes, fresh out of the shower, I figured, what the hell? I'll throw on my swimsuit top, bra top, whatever you want to call it. It's Skims. So it's technically a bra top, but you know what? I'm comfortable. I'm happy. Who gives a shit, right? This show is whatever we want it, whenever we want it, and say whatever the hell we want to say, right? Okay. So I was just having a great conversation with one of my girlfriends, and there were words that I used to use to describe myself, like to get through this year. This was a year of survival. So we were, keyword were, we were in survival. When I got started, this show was strategically on purpose, so I didn't quit. I had to have responsibility. It kept me accountable. I had to show up. I had to have guests. I had to have a show each week. And there was a few weeks, you all, where I did not have content. I was so exhausted. I was laying in bed. I had gone through a divorce this year, went through a separation when we got started in the show. I had kind of fallen on my face at work previously, was trying to pull myself out of that hurdle, getting my confidence back, getting my voice back. This show helped me 100% find Shylo's voice again, be able to speak without like crumbling inside, having confidence, building my confidence up. How many of you, like I can say this, like even in my own team, like the question was, if you could ask a leader one thing, what would it be? And it was all of it said confidence, how to gain confidence, how to gain confidence. Well, that's what I'm here to do. How did I gain my confidence back? One day at a freaking time. I'm going to tell you that. Stumbling over my words, forgetting things, practicing in the mirror again. I physically couldn't speak. When I quit drinking, I was at a point where I physically couldn't speak the words properly. And nobody understands that, okay? You don't understand how far in you are with your numbing, that you no longer can do the things you used to. I couldn't remember things. I have the memory of an elephant. And it took all of this year to come back to this sharp person. Took this entire year, over a year, to come back from that. So the healing from sobriety, the healing from falling on my face, the healing from going through a separation and a divorce, the healing through navigating with children who are emotionally going through it. Then you add quarantines and COVID and vaccines and riots and all the things that have gone on, and you throw it into the melting pot, right? And you come out. But here's what I wanted to say. I was talking about words to describe myself. I used to describe myself as a hot mess express. I was this year. I was for so long. I was in survival mode. Who wasn't, right? Many of us were. People lost their jobs. People are navigating all the things. So I was in survival mode, hot mess express, shit show. That's how I would describe myself. And now I'm to the point where I'm like, no, I'm not that person anymore. I'm not an alcoholic. I'm a recovering alcoholic. I'm not that person anymore. I'm not hurting people anymore. And if I am, I'm making sure I'm making amends the proper way and swiftly, doing it the right way. Why is this so important? Because I'm not the only person that had one hell of a couple years. And I'm not the only person who needs help with confidence. I'm not the only person who was looking for her voice again. I'm not the only person who was just getting by, because I'm not doing that anymore. I recently just came out of one of the hardest seasons of my life, and I was looking around going, I don't have to hold my breath anymore. I upped my lease. I was in these temporary leases. I get to stay in my apartment another 6 months and probably build my home on the lake, which is the next adventure this spring. As I'm building my home where our cabin was, I'm having a lake home, and it's my project. It's what I want to do. I want to do this for my family and have a great place that either we live in or we rent out or have when we want to. It could be seasonal, it could be whatever, but it's going to be a 4-season home that we can be at any time. Turnkey, walk in, no coolers, no more cabin. It's time to have a home, and on the lake that my dad wanted us to be on. So lots of great adventures. But as I was sitting here over the last few weeks, I couldn't understand why I felt lost. And I know there are a lot of you that feel this way. Like, why do I feel lost? Because the old Shylo is dead. I freaking died this year. I did. I died. And it was really challenging. It was scary. I lost parts of me that I thought I had to have, that I clung on to. Things I used to use as a child to get me through. These are important things to identify, y'all. What happened to me this year was I became so hyper aware. And then I forgave that shit. And then I healed that shit. And then I moved forward. And I also put people in place, and so did someone else. Someone above put people in place in my life to make sure I stuck to those things, that I stuck to my word, that I stuck to my goals, that I kept showing up for this podcast, that I showed up for my team, that I kept going even when it hurt, even when nobody wanted to talk to me, when nobody wanted to work with me, when nobody looked for me for value anymore. One of the biggest heartbreaks I had over the last few years is during all the transitions, what made me great had to go to the back burner. The parts of Shylo that loved hugging people and calling people, and I lost that version of me. And I put that part of my leadership in the corner, and it needed to come out of the corner. And that's what's happening. But it couldn't be there in survival mode. So we have seasons, right? We have seasons in business. And I'm talking to entrepreneurs. This happens to everyone. Entrepreneurs have life. They go through divorces. They go through hard times. They lose children. They get sick. There are things that happen to everyone. We're human beings. An entrepreneur, a stay-at-home mom, huge kudos. There's no knocking that, because stay-at-home moms do triple the work and are expected to be all the things, right? I've been a stay-at-home mom. I stay home with my kids now and run businesses, multiple businesses. And so what I'm here to tell you is there are seasons, there's times to put things in the corner, and then there's times to bring them out, and there's times to say it. Okay? There are times that we need to stand in our power. There are times when we need to stand and speak our voice, our words, our language, and erase the hot mess express, erase the shit show from our vocabulary, and love the things that got us here. Love the platforms that got us here, the social medias and the people who supported us when no one else would, when our families wouldn't, the strangers on Facebook, the strangers in our world on TikTok or Instagram. Like, isn't it amazing the support you get from someone who has never met you in their life? It's incredible. And through all my businesses, I never waited for somebody to support me. Because if I did, I would be sitting there still. Okay. I'd still be sitting on my butt waiting for somebody to support me. You have to go make it happen. And how do you do that? Well, in a season like I've just had, or many of us just had, it's easy for someone to stand here on a platform like, just go do it and do that and do that. That's not the answer. We have to peel back the layers of the onion and find out what's really going on. And for most of us, you can go hire anyone you want and you can get a cookie cutter program and you can do those things. But what you really need is to attack the shit that started a long time ago, most likely childhood traumas. Maybe you're taking on trauma, shame from your own parents. What the heck is it that's holding you back in your now? What's stopping you? For me, I had sexual trauma I never dealt with. Normalize it, talk about it. Sexual trauma. Many people have been through sexual trauma, big or small. And here's the thing, normalize doesn't mean minimize. Normalize means let's have serious conversations and not put shame behind it. No shame in my game. I've been molested. I have been touched inappropriately. I've touched people inappropriately as a child because that's what I was taught. And I had to heal it and forgive myself and forgive others. These are not big deals to me. And even saying them doesn't bother me. But for some people, that's very hard to do. So let's get to the point where we can be safe and find safe spaces and people that we can say, hey, I was traumatized as a child. I was victimized as a child. And now I really want to talk about it because I want to heal this and I want to find a way to make it better so I don't put this on my own children. So I don't keep it going generation after generation after generation. So generational curses. How do we do that? You have to become hyper aware. So when you're talking to people and the coaching world, when I think about coaches, I think about somebody who's going to walk me through that shit. Okay. Not necessarily a therapist, but that doesn't mean they can't be. I mean, somebody who's going to say, here's what you need to do and do it and continue to walk me through and doesn't allow me to go into my head and say terrible things about myself. I'm ugly. I'm this. I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy. I'm not confident enough. I'm not pretty enough. I'm not this enough. No more. Because the negative self-talk is also destroying you. So you need to find somebody who can get you through these things, walk you through traumas, make you laugh a little bit, also have fun with you. You know, you got the traumas, you've got shame, you've got all the things. Now you got to build your confidence. Because I talked about that in the beginning. What was the number one thing that my team said a couple days ago when it came to what could I get from a leader? And it was, how can I be confident at what I do? Well, confidence, people can say this and I don't agree with it. Fake it till you make it. There's parts of that I believe. You can stand proud, shake in your boots and say it and know that it's true. And you may not have confidence behind it, but you can stand proud and hang on to it, right? There's this shoulders back. This is my dad always said, no matter what's going on, even if you're scared, put your shoulders back and your head high and breathe. There's an exercise. That doesn't mean you gained confidence. It means you are presenting yourself. So faking it till you make it this is how I interpret it. Present yourself properly. At least show up, because you might be shaking in your boots. You might not be able to say all the words, but if you look the part, if you stand there and you stand tall and your confidence in your stature, it's still going to give you 50% more than it would if you sat like this and you didn't say anything. I hope this is making sense. I'm just having a day where I want to share all the things. Why is this important? Confidence will be built over multiple thousands of no's, meaning you're going to get better when you stop giving a shit about the no's, first of all, because people aren't going to just jump on board with you. But the better you get at going, okay, and just not internalizing it, that's the key. Because just because they're saying no, it doesn't mean no, you're a terrible person. But what your inner child and your inner self is saying, they said no because you're not pretty enough, you didn't stand tall enough, you said it wrong, you don't know what you're doing, and it attacks you, right? No, they said no because it's not right now, or they're not ready, and they have other things going on. Or maybe you just didn't get that one thing that would have sold them. Maybe you didn't hit the pain point. Keep effing going. Figure it out. They said no. Have more conversation, build the relationship. Because guess what, you all? I see a lot of people are like, I'm going to go viral and I'm going to do this. Really? But if you don't know how to build a relationship with these people, you might get one order and you're never getting another one. because they don't trust you. People do buy you. So you have to build trust. That doesn't mean that you can't get people right away. They don't know you, but you got to figure out what makes them tick. Find their pain and turn it around. What can you do to solve that problem? Do they need income? Do they need wellness? Are they struggling? Do they not sleep at night? Do you have a solution for that? Do they need better nutrition? Do you have supplements for that? What do you offer? What is your thing? Do you offer you? Are you a mentor? What are you doing to help these people? And why would they want to be with you? What makes you tick? The one thing I can say about myself off the top of my head, no matter when it is, what it is, I never quit. I might be going, I always say I'm like the Shawshank Redemption. I climb and will climb through a river of shit and I will come out clean because I'm not afraid to climb through the shit. And most people are too afraid to get dirty that they will never see what that is like on the other side when you come out. Because when you come out clean and the rain is coming onto you and you are free of whatever was holding you back, you know that feeling? And people in my industry, in the MLM industry, really understand this. It's like when you hit that rank, when you freaking finally hit the rank you've been trying to hit, or when you help someone else do it, which is even sweeter, and you finally, after the phone calls and the tears and the ups, the downs, the people who quit, the people who said they were going to be the best leaders in the world and they fizzled, or the drama, and you get to this point where you walk on stage and it's your time. It's your time. That's the moment when the rain is on you and you're like, I did it. But most people are not willing to get dirty to even experience that. You have to go through it to earn that experience. And most people want to skip it. They say the easy button or whatever. There's no effing easy button, okay? There's no easy button in life. There's no easy button in business. You have to be willing to do it. But if you want to do it fast, I can teach you that. To do it fast, you got to fail fast and you got to do it really quick and you got to get good at not giving a shit about what other people think. This takes time. This takes time because for years and years, and I still care. I hang on to certain things, certain people. I'm like, oh, I don't want them to be mad at me and I don't want them to hate me and blah, blah, blah. We're humans, but you have to get good at separating that emotional part and saying, this is business. And this is personal. And this is why when I always talk about colleagues, comrades, and confidants, why you have to know who these three people are. And if you think you have 39 confidants and you're besties with everyone in your team or your business or your environment in your office, you're crazy. That's not that. I don't know one person that's true. Most of the time you have 1 to 2 people, great, fabulous, love on them. And then you have your colleagues. Okay. So you need to differentiate these three. Those are important. You need to know the difference between the three. And I go into that so many different times and I'll talk about that in another podcast or training because it's really important for people to understand your environments and understanding the people you're working with. Because if you could go to work and you're in the office and there's people gossiping and but if you knew that they weren't your confidants, your besties, that takes away some of that emotion, right? You're like, well, we're not best friends, so it doesn't matter to me, right? That doesn't matter to me that they're being weird or that they're a little gossipy. But here's what I do know. I do know that they've got a family, that they're just trying and they're exhausted of the office life, not getting paid enough. They feel like they're not worth what they're, maybe they don't feel like they're getting paid what they're worth. Maybe they're just exhausted. They need some recognition. Maybe somebody has to build them up. So here's what you do. You take that and then you take out the besties and you get over that. And the minute you do, you say, now, what is this person's strength? Well, it's not gossiping. Gossiping is not a strength, but I'm not going to focus there. What don't I like about them? I'm going to put that over here. What do I like about them? I'm going to put that right here. Okay, so they're really organized. I'm not organized. I would love to be a better organizer. I'm going to let Susie know, hey, Susie, I want to tell you something. You are one of the most organized people in this office, and I really appreciate it. Would love to know how you do this, this, and this. Would you be open to showing me? Great. You're building a relationship, a work relationship, but you're also highlighting the strength. You're not focusing on the negative, and that's what you use Susie for. Susie's the organizer, okay? Then maybe you got Todd. Todd sounds like an 80s Barbie name. I like that. Then you got Todd in the office, who he's kind of interesting. He thinks he's funny. You don't like it, but he actually is really, really good at what? Find his strength. Okay. Don't focus on what Todd sucks at. Todd's sense of humor isn't so funny. Okay, great. But we're not going to sit and hang on that, because if we want to look at the negative, it's going to be shown to us all day long, right? Oh, I hate Todd for that. I'm going to listen to it all day now. Now I get to hear his crappy jokes. No, what I do like about Todd is he's always on time. Todd is always on time, and he always offers to bring me coffee. I love coffee. And today I'm going to say thank you to Todd and say, maybe tomorrow, will you grab me a coffee? I'll buy. Y'all, this is how you fix relationships in your work life and your business life. This is basics. Then you got your comrades. You know these people. They're there for the fight. They're gone right after. They're not your friends. They're not even really your colleagues. They're just kind of there, and they're going to ditch out. They're probably going to quit the minute that whatever we're doing in the office is done. And that's okay. You don't make best friends with them. You don't invest a ton into them. You know what they're there for. Enjoy them. Use their strengths, and don't focus on the negatives, and move on. How much easier would life be if this is what we did? If we could group people like this all the time? And I still fall victim to, I want people to be my best friend. Not all the time, but it still happens. I notice it. I'm like, that person was not my friend, and I wanted them to be my best friend. And I trusted, and I went into the friend zone when I should have stayed in the colleague zone, right? It happens to a lot of people. We all want to be loved. We're human beings. It's okay. So let's talk about this year. We start this show. I'm making it, right? I just wanted to get through my shows. I didn't even care for the first couple months. I just wanted to get these shows recorded, make sure I was on time, and not fail. My goal was not to fail. And as we progressed, and as I kept healing, because as I was going through my things, we had been going to counseling. I went through some PTSD. I went through some severe anxiety. I was losing my hair. I stopped sleeping back in February. So sleep was really rough for about 6 months for me. And staying sober and doing the things, and with my kids and that, I started to come out of this world a little bit. I started to travel a little bit more, and I started to want to make not only the show incredible, because it was already starting to be incredible. I was feeling good. I was able to have some great shows with great guests. And I was like, wow, this is what I love. This is Shylo in a nutshell. Like, I get to bullshit with people I love, up and coming incredible artists and entrepreneurs and celebrities and all the people, and just incredible healers and my friends. Getting to highlight my friends has been a blessing. So going into this in the second quarter and the third quarter was a very different version, but I wasn't quite out of that hole yet. I wasn't quite out of survival mode. So as we've been transitioning, I started to think about a couple things for the show and the additions that I can do. And now we're going to come up with some YouTube shorts. And like I said earlier, sponsors and things that are important to me. I wanted to get my feet wet. I did. I wanted to have a growing show. We did. We were consistent in growth each and every month. We still get viewers each and every week. I found out that we are doing extremely well for Lux Media. I won't say any stats because I don't know if they're even supposed to be public. So I just found out a really good thing about our show and where we are in the podcast world and for Lux Media. And it's incredible. I'm so humbled. I'm so grateful for the staff, for everybody, for Candace. And what's important is that you all know is it's only getting better from here. I stayed hidden on social media a little bit for the last couple of years. I kind of shied myself. I was not sure of who I was supposed to be. And now I'm coming back into that world, a better, healthier version of myself, but also a new version. The old Shylo's dead. The old Shylo has died, went to heaven, and I am here, this version, Shylo 2.0, but a happier, healthier version, a healed version that's still healing, and we're all still healing, but going through the motions. So excited for some incredible guests coming up in the next few weeks, few months. So stick around for that. For YouTube, some motivationals. We're going to be doing a 12-part series. I'm excited for that. And then rolling into my book launch that'll come in, next year. We'll get into that because we're not rushing any of this. The book is so important to me, but the title has changed 1 or 2 times, and it'll probably change again because I've changed. Where I was when I wanted to write that book is not the same place that I wanted to now. And now I've co-authored a book that's launching tomorrow. I'm so super proud of that. Making Your Way to Six Figures. Rob Sperry had me as a co-author. He's just incredible. If you don't know who Rob Sperry is, go follow him on social media. But so grateful to be a part of that project and hoping to do more co-authoring and writing content for magazines and all the things. So the fourth quarter is here. We're coming into the final, and I am coming in guns blazing with lots of new exciting things. And it's just time. There's no holding back. My voice is here. I'm ready to speak on these stages again. I'm ready to show the world who I am and how I can help people. I hope my journey has inspired you. I hope my pain has given you purpose. I hope that through my suck, you can see that no matter what's happening in your life, that you can come out on top. You can be that Shawshank Redemption. You can come out clean, and you can come out a renewed version of yourself. Let the old one go and embrace what's ready, what's new, what's coming now. So I hope you enjoyed this short episode. I wanted to give just some insight for what's coming. We have so much more guests. I mean, we still have content from a couple weeks ago. We just have so many things happening. But thank you again. I'm so grateful for all my listeners, and I'll catch you on the next one. This is Shylo Bijou and another episode of
Glutathione is a big word. It's the body's own master antioxidant. It's a scavenger for free radical, bacteria, and viruses. There are no products in the market with the ingredient Nasset. Nasset increases the production of glutathione that's in our body already to strengthen and enhance our immune system, elevate sense of well-being, support muscle strength and endurance, cognitive function, and liver support. It helps with increased energy and blood sugar regulation. Get your bottle of GSH Plus from www.salvationnutra.com.